What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a loose, complete market video. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm a little hoarse right now, but I did put together a really nice set of items that sold on eBay here recently. Everything from the 12-inch figures to Last 17 to Sise Fromn and Tig Fromn. We all know how expensive those droids figures are, as well as vehicles and playsets. So lots of good data here. And as always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up. And if you're watching this video now, we had a great time in my Patreon exclusive live stream that featured Brett on FET and also Chris from 5 Idiots Talking Toys. So thanks to those guys, and I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the replay. Let's go ahead and dig in. We're going to start off with some 12-inch figures. All of these were loose, complete, and in pretty darn good condition. The first one is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Great looking figure there. That looked to be in really great shape overall. That one was listed for $250 plus $850 shipping. I forgot to look up what the best offer accepted was on that one. I'm guessing between $200 and $225 for that one. But beautiful example there of Obi-Wan. Next up was Luke in the box, and this one was not mint in sealed box, I don't believe. This one had already been opened before, but it included a sliding acrylic case and looked to be in pretty great shape overall. That one sold in an auction for $315, 2 bids plus $12.85 shipping, but pretty good example there. Next up was Darth Vader, another one that was in great shape. This one was loose, complete with the lightsaber there, no box. That one sold in an auction for $140 and change plus $10.81 shipping. That's a pretty good price if you ask me. That one was a pretty good example there. Next up was Blue Snags. I believe I had this one in a what to buy video, and I wasn't sure exactly what it would sell for. I think I said, if memory serves, it would sell for between $350 and $400. So I was right on the money on that one. It had a little bit of rub on the belt buckle as well as some rub on the feet, but pretty good example. The torso obviously had the discoloration that we talk about all the time on the channel, a little bit darker than the limbs, but still that one sold for $385 in an auction. That one closed on August 6th, 15 bids plus another about $9.55 shipping. Next up, this Yoda was in great shape. This was a brown snake Yoda, and I can't really see much wrong with it. It had the black Pac-Man eyes, and that one sold for $139 and change plus $8 shipping. So lots of action on that one. That one had 25 bids and closed on August 9th. So really clean example. I think the rest of these loose figures after this Boba Fett are all Last 17, but don't quote me on that. This one was a loose, complete Boba Fett with the card back. So, you know, it wasn't graded, but it was just inside of a sliding acrylic case with a little platform for the figure. And it included a pretty nice looking example of the card back there. And that one is the Palatoy card back. So pretty desirable to get that Palatoy card back along with the figure. And that one sold over in the UK for 132 pounds, which is 168 US dollars plus shipping though. So I think that's pretty good given that the card backs by themselves can often sell for between $100 and $150 depending on the condition of the card back, and this card back was in great shape, so I think that was a really good buy for $168. Next up, let's dig into the Last 17. This one was advertised as C9 plus condition for Luke's Stormtrooper, and this one sold over in the UK for 300 pounds, which is 381 US dollars. I don't know if that's the correct blaster. It looks like it might be, but I will let you guys dig into that on the Imperial Gunnery to see which version of the blaster it is, but it looks like the correct blaster at first blush. But the Luke itself was in really great shape, hardly any discoloration, if any at all, and I think that's a pretty good price, assuming that blaster was correct. And next up was a R2-D2 pop-up saber. Obviously, the sticker had some pretty heavy yellowing and some scuffs on it, but that still sold for $435. This is probably in 70 plus to 75 grade condition. But, you know, given what they sell for in super mint condition, which is $800 to $1,000 easily, this one sold for $435 plus shipping. Pretty good deal there. Next up, this was an A-Wing pilot, complete with the blaster. Obviously, it had some scuffing on the eyebrow as well as on that silver kind of piece on the chest there. So this one was not in mint condition at all. But I wanted to show you kind of a low-grade condition. This is probably as good as it gets for a budget grade A-Wing pilot. That one sold in an auction for £175 over in the UK, which equates to about 222 US dollars. Loose complete in near mint plus condition, you're talking 300 to 350 all day long. So I think that was appropriately discounted. Next up, the same seller had a Lando Calrissian General last 17 with the blaster, the Black Palace blaster. That one was in better shape, and that one sold for 226 US dollars or 178 pounds. Here was Ramba, 100% complete, 145 pounds on this one, which equates to 184 US dollars and change, but that one was in really clean condition. One thing to look out for on Ramba is around that belt buckle. You can see one little speck of paint wear on the ribbon that comes down off the belt, and that's usually an area where this one tends to have wear. Sometimes you see some wear on the hood as well. Otherwise, it's in really clean condition, probably overall an 80 grade, but a pretty clean condition there. Also, look at the nose for Ramba. He oftentimes will get nose rub on that one. Next up is a Warwick. This one included the bow as well as the quiver and hood, and that one sold for 220 US dollars in an auction. Free shipping on that one, but that was a very clean condition. On Warwick, really pay attention to the torso, because the torso does discolor and turn yellow over time. This one was in really clean shape, though. You can see that the torso is the same color as the limbs, and that's often hard to find because that torso piece does discolor over time, and that one was in very clean shape overall. All right, let's dig into the two droids figures that are always known to be very expensive, and it's crazy how expensive these sold for, and mainly because this one sold with the coin, and the coin looked to be in really good shape. But this is Sise Fromn, very, very clean condition. The robe on that one had no scuffs or kind of paint rub or anything like that, and that one sold for $961. Once upon a time, that's about what you would pay to get a mint on card, even last year. And Sise Fromn, as we've talked about, has really gone up in price. So pretty incredible to see that a loose, complete, ungraded example, admittedly in near mint plus condition. Look how clean that robe is. That one sold again for $961 with the coin. And then here is his son, Tig Fromn. This one included the little baton and was also in very clean condition. Maybe just some light scratches on the gray part of his torso there, but very, very clean, probably an 80-plus grade condition. That one sold for $540 in a buy-it-now situation with free shipping. Very little wear on that one, tight joints. So, wow, it's unbelievable how expensive Tig Fromn and Sise Fromn have become. Let's dig into the playsets and vehicles before we finish off the video. The first one is the Death Star Space Station, 100% complete. I'm assuming that foam is original. Let's see. Large gun is broken and will not click in the joint. Our grading scale is 1 to 100. This one is rated in 85%. So assuming that, you know, you're okay with kind of some issues with the gun click issue, those foams are labeled as non-repro. It also included the Dianoga Trash Monster. So, you know, and it also included the little swing for the Death Star escape scene where Luke and Leia escape from the stormtroopers. So very tough to find that one complete, and that one sold for $293 in an auction plus $17.40 shipping. The foam, to me, I question whether that's original foam, just given that foam usually does kind of degrade and kind of fall apart over time. So if it's legit and it actually is the original foam, that's a pretty good deal on that one. Next up is another one that we've talked about in a few videos recently, and it seems like we've had a rash of the radio-controlled Jawa Sandcrawler. I mean, there's been like 4 or 5 of them that have sold at auction, and this one sold for $700 plus $20 shipping. It included the elevator, which was advertised as working, along with the remote control, but $700, only one bid on it, but still, that's a pretty incredible price for a loose, complete Sandcrawler. Next up is the Slave 1, and this included the box and inserts, along with the instruction sheet and the catalog, and that one sold up in Canada for 405 Canadian dollars, which is 300 US dollars on 15 bids. So pretty good deal on that one. All the stickers were applied on this one, but it was a pretty nice example. Next up is the Imperial Cruiser, 100% complete. Very tough to find that one with the seat belts, so keep an eye on that. Make sure it includes the seat belts. But stickers were in really great shape on this one, and that one sold for $162.93, free shipping. And then finally is the AT-AT Walker. This was a really clean example. It included the original chin guns, apparently, and that one sold for $150. The chin guns look a little weird to me. Maybe they're repro, I don't know. You got to be careful and make sure that you vet the sellers on these, because those chin guns look way too white and frosty to be original. But I went ahead and included it just to show it. There's a yellowing on the legs as well, as you can see there. But assuming those chin guns are non-repro, which I question, $150 is a pretty good buy there, and that makes me think that those chin guns are probably not original. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed looking at these recent sales for loose complete vehicles, playsets, figures, and 12-inch figures. Thanks again for watching as always. Please consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, and I'll be back soon.